Hello, Microsoft 365 Nation. Harry Brailsford with one of our periodic contributions, and this one is a doozy. So I am with Brent Morris and Alex Fields, who are active MSPs. So Brent, quickly, if you could introduce yourself and your company, what do you do, where are you located, and then we'll get into the good stuff.
Sure, thanks, Harry. Well, my name is Brent Morris. I'm with Success Computer Consulting. We're a managed service provider and a managed security service provider located in Minneapolis, St. Paul. We've been in business for about 26 years. We've got 70 employees, and we've got some really talented people in the Microsoft 365 world.
Yeah, well, let's hop over to the man of the minute. So, Alex Fields, you have created a book. Sir, I fancy myself an author, but I have met my match, if not been outdone by your new Microsoft 365.
Well, I have to say, Harry, you were, you were an inspiration to me. When I first got into IT, I was just a kid. I was 16 years old, and I was following your 2003 business server guide to set my dad's small business up. So, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I wish I could do it back to the future. Those were the days, let me tell you. It was all so clear. Alex, before we jump into the sort of the overview of the book for this month's contribution, quickly, what is your background? Or are you're clearly technical? Did you come up with engineering certifications? How did you get to where you're at today?
Yeah, well, it did start with my own family's business. I was just kind of the geeky kid who knew too much about computers, and because of that, nominated me as the technology expert for our family businesses, which was commercial construction and leasing companies.
Okay.
So it was started as a pretty small outfit. They were probably like 8 to 10 people when they first got started, and over the years they grew to about 50 to 60 people. And I was the network admin for them for a long time, and then eventually I kind of went out on my own and started working for Success shortly thereafter. And I've been with Success now for almost 10 years, I want to say. I think I started in 2010, so next year will be coming on 10-year anniversary here. And I've been in a technical role the whole time.
I could see that based on your writing, and Brent, I believe you have a long tenure at Success Computer Consulting, and I just shout out for that because that is always a healthy organizational sign when the employees have long tenure versus the opposite. But Alex, let's jump into the good stuff. So it's a 200-page book that's available for download here at Microsoft 365 Nation. So thank you for your contribution. What I want to do this month, and then we're going to get you back and double click into the details, but I want to talk about the parts of the book. Part 1, identity management. At a high level, what's going on in part 1? It looks like it's 60 pages.
Gosh, it does take a while to go over that. Well, the thing about identity is it's really become, we've probably heard this a lot of places, but it's the new control plane. And, in a world beyond the perimeter, where users are now our perimeter, we have to implement controls that are based on identity. And so that's kind of where it all starts. We used to have Active Directory in the old days when we did like the small business servers and so forth like that. And now it's Azure Active Directory. So we spend most of our time going over the functionalities within Azure Active Directory.
Boy, howdy, my brain's already spinning. Part 2, device management. Now this I think I can even understand. What's going on in part 2, device management?
So yeah, device management, we're diving mostly into Intune. Okay. All the Microsoft 365 plans include it. And this is going into kind of the options that we have now. You can manage personal devices, you can manage corporate devices, and you can manage those differently based on policy. So you can manage at the device level or at the application level. It's kind of a choice that businesses have to make. And I wanted to really give a good rundown of both of those models, since so many organizations now have a mixture of bring your own device as well as corporate-owned devices. And so really wanted to go down that path, and then also kind of highlight how it ties into identity. Our identity is no longer just made up of our username and password anymore. Your device, it can actually become part of your identity in Microsoft 365, and that's an important security feature. So.
There's a Dilbert cartoon there somewhere where I used to, in my own mind, think there would be an individual, and you lay down and go to bed and plug in a Cat5 cable into your being.
Yeah.
I guess today it'd be Wi-Fi, but we're getting there.
Yep.
Mankind is evolving. We're getting there for device management as humans. But hey, finally, part 3, apps and data protection. And after you give your overview, or as part of that, shout out to HIPAA and compliance. But go ahead and take it straight up, and then let's talk about your compliance conversation.
Yeah, definitely. So, the third part, the way I kind of think of Microsoft 365 in general is, it's basically a combination of Office, Windows, device management, and some security and compliance features. And that's where that apps and data management comes in, is really kind of focusing on what can we do in terms of security and compliance for an organization. And, the Microsoft 365 business plan, for instance, it's where most of the small businesses start. There are enterprise versions that have even more tools, but there's a lot of goodness baked in even to the business plan. So advanced threat protection for additional security. We also have, data governance, where we have archive and retention policies, as well as data classification labels, where we can encrypt documents and email messages so that no matter where they go, whether they're stored in a company location like OneDrive and SharePoint, or whether they're taken somewhere else like Dropbox or some other location out on the web, they carry that encryption with them. You have to sign into Azure AD, identify yourself, again, identity being the control, in order to get access to it.
Alex, my question on HIPAA, I'm gonna frame it up a little different than you might expect. So you're located in Minneapolis, which I consider to be a capital city for medical healthcare, the industry, right? Mayo Clinic and so on.
Right.
Our audience is well aware of what HIPAA is, and we probably have talked about it too much, but do you guys have, is one of your verticals healthcare, being in Minneapolis? I'm thinking that might be a natural act.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we do a lot of HIPAA assessments, and in Microsoft 365, one of the great tools that's included there is the Compliance Manager. And this is a place where you can go and basically get a nice little pre-made formula or set a checklist of things that you need to go and do. And when you're in a Microsoft world, it'll even show you, here's the things that Microsoft manages and part of their data centers and everything. And so a lot of the items are already taken care of for you. And then there's the customer managed pieces, which is maybe the other 20% of it or so. And those are the items that we have to go in and make sure are adjusted well for each tenant that we're managing.
Yeah.
And it has other controls in there too, so even just like procedural, documents and things like templates of BAA agreements and things like that. So it's a really great resource, and I don't think a lot of people are using it or even know it's part of their subscription, but it is. It's really cool.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate your time with our Hello World conversation today and highlighting your book, and thank you for contributing your book to the Vault, so people can download and benefit from that. And Alex, hopefully offer feedback along the way. Feedback's the breakfast of champions, let me tell you.
Yeah.
You can always count on a reader. I'll just leave that hanging out there. But we'll talk to you next month. And Brent, best of luck to you, sir, as you continue to drive success at Success Computer Consulting. How's that sound?
That sounds great, Harry. Thank you very much.
All right, and as always, thanks to Jenny in the radio control room. This is Microsoft 365 Nation. Harry Brailsford, have a great day.
Thanks, Harry.